everybody and welcome back to another video, and if you're new, you're so very welcome and it's very nice to meet you. I'm Jane and my husband Mike is behind the camera. We're British, early retirees, debt and mortgage free, and living a thrifty, frugal and money saving life on a super tight budget here in Brittany in northwest France. And every Sunday we share an aspect of our private life. Something that we've done to save money, something that we've made to save money, or something that we've bought. And this week you come to me, a very tired me who's just done a huge month-long mega shop in extraordinarily busy French supermarkets because it's August and everybody is on holiday. So to eliminate the other trips to the supermarket, we did a really big shop today. We're going to be sharing that with you today. So what did we spend? Everything that you see today comes to 243 euros, which is 265 US dollars, 210 UK pounds, 355 Canadian dollars, and 407 Australian dollars. We have a €400 a month supermarket budget for all food, all drink, all toiletries, all cleaning products, everything. And we've got 157 left for the month for little bits and pieces. So what we've spent so far, which is going to last us for more than a month, averages out at 61 euros a month. So let's get going with the shopping haul. We'll start this bit with a French word of the day, or two French words of the day that go together and we use them as one word, and it is anti-gaspillage, which is anti-waste, stop the waste. And we've been to a destockage shop where they sell things on a short date or things that are overstocked from other shops. And I spent €9 on this little bit here, which is, let's look at here, I've written it all down for you. 10 US dollars, 8 UK pounds, 13 Canadian dollars and 15 Australian dollars. So let's take a look at what we've bought. And so here, this is a super deal, this was. They are really lovely firm tomatoes. This is 3 kilos of tomatoes. Each bag is 3 kilos of tomatoes. And that was €2.50 a bag, which is well under €1 for tomatoes. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to can them, because tin tomatoes are really, really expensive. And if I can do this, and they are cheap, and our electricity tariff charges at this time of year is what's called blue, which means it's at its cheapest at the moment. So cooking them at the moment, because obviously, you know, I've got to water bath them for a period of time, isn't as uneconomical as you would think. So that's my first thing. I've got my tomatoes and I'm going to can those. The next thing I've got here is, this is Santagur blue cheese spread. And this is a great sort of thing that we will stir through pasta. We will add it to mashed potatoes. We would put it in a cheese sauce. It doesn't say we can freeze it or not, but I do freeze it. And it's okay. It's okay to put in cooking. It's absolutely fabulous. So if I was going to make a moussaka and a moussaka even, and I've got the cheese sauce on top, I would just stir in a tub of that. And I paid €2 for the 3 of them. And they're normally around the €2 mark or more each. So they're on a short date, but don't worry, they are going in the freezer. I don't need to tell you that paper products cost an absolute fortune. I very rarely buy kitchen roll, but I do keep it for things like if I've cooked something greasy and I wouldn't want to put the grease down the sink and I wasn't going to use that grease again, which I don't always do, I will wipe around the pan with a paper towel and put it in the bin. Also, I've got 2 little dogs. If for whatever reason, in spite of the fact that this is very seldom, they do make a mess. They do a doo-doo, you know what I mean? I'm not using my tea towels for it. I will use a paper towel. The first thing I've got to share with you is the shopping I got from Netto And some of this I should have bought in the other shops, but today, and I'm sure some of you will understand this, I got so flustered in the big supermarket because it was so packed when it normally isn't, that I ended up thinking, I tell you what, I'll finish my shopping in Netto. And sometimes Netto's cheaper, sometimes it isn't, but it's always good quality for the price. So in Netto, in total, so if you have a look at the total here, my love, Michael, in total you can see here is 36 euros, 39 US dollars, 31 UK pounds, 53 Canadian dollars, and 60 Australian dollars. Let's go through what I bought. I'll show you the frozen and the meat first, because then I can get it in the freezer and get it in the fridge. Right, I'm going to start off with some of the frozen. I particularly like their frozen stuff. So this is their mixed vegetables in bigger chunks. And this is what we in the UK we would call stew vegetables. And that was a 203. Those are really, really good. And this one here, which if you cook it and puree it, they call it soup. But in the UK, the contents of this, we call this mixed frozen vegetables. And these mixed frozen vegetables were 104. So if you're in France and you need to stretch your budget, that is absolutely awesome. That, you could literally buy 2 or 3 bags of those, stick it with every meal you've got. Now this is absolutely fantastic. This is a julienne legume, so this here is very small pieces. If I'm making a bolognese or if I am making a pasta sauce, this is what I add to it. It's very small pieces of onion, celery, leeks and carrots. I think it's got celeriac in there instead of celery. So it is absolutely fantastic, and that's 138. And these are all the kilo bags. My broccoli was 192, and again, that's shrinkflation, 900. When did that happen? 6? No, they're not kilos. That's a kilo. That's very good. That's a kilo. That's very good. That's 600. That shrunk. That's 900. That shrunk. Shrinkflation. There we go. Then we've got here Toulouse sausages. In the UK, we call these jumbo sausages. Sausages in France are 100% pork meat. And this has got garlic in it and spices in it as well. And those were 8.29 for 8. And when we have these for a meal, Mike eats 2 and I eat 1. I often try and eat 2, don't I, Mike?
You try.
And I fail. They are enormous. So they look expensive, but actually 1 is a meal for me. And I'll now get my frozen stuff in the freezer. That's the frozen food in the freezer. So we're off to Netto part 2. So I bought eggs, which were 2.83. This is my gaff, this one. They are cheaper in Leclerc, they are cheaper elsewhere. But anyway, they are, when they say plein air, this is what we UK people call, they're free range eggs. So they're not from eggs, not from chickens in a cage. 2.83. And then we've got, I think you Americans call this sticker shock. I keep looking at the price of mayonnaise and going, oh, that shot up. Like shot up, it was like 109 and then it was 130 and now that's 152 for mayonnaise. And it's really lovely. It's quite high in oil content and it's got Dijon mustard in it. It's lovely. This is a store cupboard item. This is creme anglaise, which British people call custard. And it is shelf stable and that's 124. So that's a pantry item. 2 more pantry items here. This is soup with basil in it and it's really lovely. And every now and then when you don't want to cook or you're just not very hungry and we're just going to have some soup and a cheese toasty for our supper. We think it's really nice. And it's got next year's date on it, so it's going to go away for ages. And those, as you can see, are 98 each. It makes supper, when we have it with a sandwich, it brings it right down to €1 each for our dinner. We're then on iceberg lettuces. We don't eat salad that quickly. So what I call the French fluffy lettuce, the great big huge fluffy lettuce, it doesn't last so long. This does last a while and that was 99 cents. This is what in the UK we would call vegetable spread. And this vegetable spread is $2.11, and this is what I use for baking cakes. It's half the price of butter, and it's fine in cake. Or if I was going to make a cheese sauce and I needed to melt butter, I would use that instead, just because butter is so expensive. And then I've got an aubergine, a lovely big aubergine there, that was 78. And then we've got, where are these from? So these are, yeah, French potatoes, and we've done 5 kilos. We've got 5 kilos there. So these are all now new potatoes, and that was $5.99 for 5 kilos of potatoes. The next thing I've got to share with you is our shopping from Lidl. And I spent €109 in total. So if you can have a look at what you can see there now, €109. Again, what do you get these days for €109? Not very much. So back to me, thank you, hi. That's $119 US, 94 UK pounds, 159 Canadian dollars, and 183 Australian dollars. So there you go. So that's what we did there. And let's get going. Let's put this down over here a minute, and I'll show you the frozen stuff first. This is a massive sticker shock. This is by far the cheapest fish that we can buy here. And I've got here, I'm trying to find the weight on that one. Shrunk. They shrunk it. The cheeky people. Shrinkflation. They've put the price up and they've made the packet smaller. That used to be a kilo. Oh my goodness gracious me. Not long ago this was $3.99. Literally a year and a half ago that was $3.99. That is now $8.25 for under a kilo. But it's really good. We only need 1 piece each. It does work out to be quite economical, even with the price rises. And then I've got minced beef that I bought frozen. Now, the minced beef everywhere here is about 12 to 15 euros a kilo. That's a kilo, not half a cow, a kilo. So this was the cheapest way I could buy it. It's very lean, it's great. So well, it's not as lean as it is, it's 20% fat. So it's not too bad. But that was $8.14 and I bought 2 of those, and I'm going to get my frozen food in the freezer. I'm going to start off with grated Emmental. Oh my goodness me, you will not believe the abuse and rudeness and horrible things people can say about grated cheese. First of all, it's the same price grated as it is in a lump. And in fact, today it was cheaper than a lump of cheese. And then they start telling me that my food is polluted and it's full of wood chips and goodness knows what else, which is absolute baloney. I'm going to read to you the ingredients on here. Milk, salt, ferment lactique, that's the stuff that makes milk into cheese. And here, more ferment, that's it. Milk and the stuff that makes cheese, and salt, that's it. Grated cheese, lovely French grated Emmental cheese, and it was $4.09 for half a kilo. Next thing I've got here, these are packs of cream cheese, and those were $1.94 each. Ooh, it's expensive. This, because every now and then we buy ourselves a treat, are 2 avocados ready to eat today, and those were $2.49 for the 2. These are something else. These are great. For $3.29, and we would have 2.5 each of these for our dinner. You know, you can see the main part of our meal there is about $1.60 each. And these fricadelle, I think you would call that a turkey burger. And there's no gluten in those, so they're really good for me to eat. So $3.29 for those. And anything like ham or lunch meat or anything like that is quite expensive at the moment. So these were on offer today with the app on my phone. And this is chicken. It's really quite nice. And those were $1.39 a pack. Butter's still expensive. I'm still buying unbranded supermarket butter. That's $2.27 in American weights. That's half a pound of butter. So $2.27. Here again, we've got some more cream cheese. These have got really long dates on them, so these can go in the back of the fridge for absolutely weeks on end. Those were 85 cents each. Chicken in Lidl is really, really good. So this is skinless, boneless chicken breasts. It's 1 kilo there for $9.96. So it's 5 in there, they're 2 each. They are so big, we have half each in a meal. They are really, really good. I'll split these. You can see here I've got the 2 packs. I will split these into packs. Then I've got this absolutely gorgeous French thick yogurt, which, good old Lidl, they call it Plume de lait, and it is a knockoff of the French brand Pearl de lait. They've even got the packet all pearly like the real ones. They are cheeky, aren't they, Mike? Anyway, $2.59, it's much cheaper. Now, when I make stuff like pizza or bread rolls, that kind of thing for me to eat, which is gluten-free, I make it by using the same weight. So if you're using volumes, I don't know how to do that with volumes, but if I use 250 grams of flour, and to that I'll add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and a good pinch of salt, I'll add 250 grams, which is about 2 pots of these little pots of yogurt. So it's really good. Now I'm still building up a stock of these because you can never have too much pasta sauce. This is 97 and it's lovely. It's full of vegetables too. Tin tomatoes, oh, they're taking the biscuit. They absolutely, like 87 a can for tin tomatoes. So it was just as cheap for me to buy that. The other thing is, if I make pizza, I use that as pizza sauce. Very quick and easy. I've got here the Great Tower of Petit Pois. They're lovely. They're absolutely lovely. And obviously it's not taking up room in my tiny freezer. I buy them tinned. That's 54 a tin. Same front and back. I've got corned beef. This has gone up a bit. It used to be $2.50. It's now $2.89. I always like to keep 2 or 3 of these in the cupboard. We eat it in salad. We make corned beef hash, which is like a combination of cooked potatoes, fried onions and corned beef together, and it's really nice. Then I've got my Lidl's own gluten-free flour. It is not the best flour in the world, and even if you add xanthan gum to it, it's not good for bread, but it's really, really good for gluten-free cakes. If I make gluten-free pastry, I will have to add 2 eggs to it. I've got here some snacks, so I'm going to talk to you about snacks. We've got $1.30 for a tube of chips and $1.53 for a bag of crisps or chips. I'm bilingual, I can say chips or crisps. Now, these we buy with our shopping, but we will take this amount off and that will come out of our discretionary spending, because we do not put things like alcohol, if we buy wine or if we buy beer or if we buy chocolates or if we buy chips, that does not come out of our supermarket budget, that comes out of our own personal discretionary spending. So we'll sort that out later. I've bought a load of fusilli for Mike to eat. I can't eat this, but he does. And those are 77 a bag. I've got a lovely big kilo bag of spaghetti for him. It'll last him nigh on a year. He doesn't eat spaghetti that often. That's $1.29. These were on offer, so I stacked up. I stacked them up and I will stock up. This is sardines and tomato sauce. This is something that I will eat for lunch on a piece of toast with maybe a bit of salad or a bit of fruit, and they were 64. They've gone up to about 109, so when I saw them at 64, I thought, right, I'm stocking up on those. Ketchup today, they were on offer. If you bought the 2, it brought the price down to $1.84 for each of them. So there we go, there is my great big Lidl stock up. Next we went to Leclerc, which is Probably one of the biggest chains of supermarkets that we have here in France. Absolutely marvellous shop. We spent 89 euros, 97 US dollars, 77 UK pounds, 130 Canadian dollars, and 149 Australian dollars. So let's get started over here. What I've got here, it is chainsaw oil, and you're going, why is chainsaw oil on your supermarket budget? It isn't. So it was $8.13, so that's half the price of a local shop called Intermarché, and so there it was twice the price of this, and Mike needs this for his chainsaw. But this does not come off the shopping budget. We will take the $8.13 off the shopping budget, and that will come out of our DIY budget or our fuel for the garden budget. So that's $8.13 for those. And then here we have got 24 toilet rolls, and those were $4.23. We've got here, how many bin bags? 10 bin liners, and those were $1.60. We've got, this is cleaning fluid here, and that was $1.70. And I'll show you what we do. We put it into a spray bottle, we dilute it 50-50, and we use that for cleaning the house. So any hard surfaces, that's what I use that for. I've got washing up liquid, and that was $1.51 a bottle. I've got the supermarket's own brand cream cleaner. I keep looking at the Cif and the branded stuff, and it's nearly €4, like $3.73. I just can't bring myself to buy it because this is 68 cents. And that I would say there is going to do me for the rest of the year. Sometimes they don't have this, so that's why I buy it. This stuff here where it says Eco, and like here, Eco, that is the supermarket's bargain basement cheapest they've got. And again, this lasts me absolutely ages. I clean the toilet 2 or 3 times a week with cleaning fluid. I clean it most of the time without cleaning fluid, just the brush. But those, and these do not have bleach in them, and those were 68 cents each. Next we have our coffee. If you have a coffee machine, maybe yours comes with a little plastic pod. Here in France, our coffee machines come with these biodegradable, compostable little coffee bags. They are completely compostable, and I just chuck them in the compost afterwards. And these make our very strong French coffees, and that was $2.73 for 48 of the dosettes. And I only drink tea caffeiné, and mine are a little bit more expensive. Mine were $2.69 for 36. And again, as you can see, when it says Eco, that is the supermarket's cheapest brands. And then here we bought some cheese. This is very much like feta cheese, but this is French cheese, and it is made of sheep's milk, and it's much cheaper than feta, but I cannot tell the difference. And those were $2.47 each. You can see they're not very big. Cheese is very expensive. We've got 2 packs of the seriously strong English, I beg your pardon, Scottish cheddar. How rude of me, I do apologise. And that's $3.47. It's imported, so it's expensive. However, per kilo, it's about the same price as any other strong, mature French cheese. We have a kilo of gluten-free bread flour. It's fantastic, but it is $6.20 a bag. We have the organic bananas, which were one bunch for $1.99. We ended up paying that because the regular bananas, the not organic ones, were really quite unpleasant looking, so we bought those. And finally, we've got a white cabbage, nice big hard white cabbage, that we shred to make coleslaw. And you won't see a lot of vegetables here today because sometimes in the supermarket they are not very good. Then what do we have here? We have really good quality casserole beef. We in the UK would call this braising steak or casserole beef, and it is a really, really good quality. And you can see here it's £10.95 a kilo, which for good beef isn't a lot of money at all. And this pack you can see is £10.38, and this one is just a fraction smaller, and that's good stew beef or casserole beef. Then I've got some belly pork slices. This is usually the cheapest pork that we can buy, and that was £6.14, and that is 1 kilo and 200 grams. And last of all, for Sunday lunches for our roasts, we've got here 2 of the eco chickens. Now these were £4.59, and if anybody wants to make any complaints about the fact that we've bought these affordable chickens, free range chickens were €15 and free range organic chickens were €25. So you can see here, I mean, it's only just over a kilo, 1 kilo 300 grams, and we'll put on the screen what that is in pounds, because I know lots of you ask about that. But it's £3.53 a kilo. So there you go. So those were the affordable chickens. I'm sure they'll be fine. They'll be lovely when I've roasted them. And that's the end of it. That was a big shop, wasn't it? We've got many items there to see us well past the end of October. So it really was a big mega shop today, and we thank you so much for watching. We love your comments, and we read every one of them. What did you see today that you thought that was really expensive? Or what did you see today that you thought that wasn't expensive? Because it's really interesting, isn't it, what we pay in one country to what you pay in another. I know on average that our grocery prices here in France for some items, like meat for example, are twice the price of UK prices. But anyway, we live here and that's the price we pay. So thank you everyone for watching. It was an exhausting shop for us today. We hope you liked the video, and we will see you soon. Goodbye for now.